Imperfecto here with another knife review. Today I will be reviewing my Spyderco Delica ZDP-189 steel. Has the British racing green, I believe they are FRN handles. This knife I carried quite extensively. I wanted to use it and give a good review on this. It's made in Siki City, Japan. I actually took this knife with me to Mexico, to Tulum, Mexico, and I was under the impression that ZDP-189 steel was a bit rust resistant, I should say, but I don't know to what extent that rust resistance was. So when I went out there, I would use it, and it's very humid out there, and of course I was at the beach. The knife did get wet a few times. I rinsed it and dried it off, and when I got back to the United States, this knife was rusted. I had to put it in my luggage to be able to bring it back. And when I did, I took it out, and it had rust spots in several places on the knife. All inside the little jimping that it has, the texturing it has in the back, on the top of the blade. I've been able to successfully get most of it off. There's a little bit right there. I don't know if you can see that. There was all around. There was even so I basically took the whole knife apart and cleaned it and got those rust stains out to the best of my ability without really ruining the knife, but or the blade, the finish on the blade. But this knife maintained an edge for a long time. This one I have sharpened it. I did it on the Spyderco knife sharpener, and it's still pretty sharp. It's super lightweight. I really enjoyed carrying this. I'm really not a big fan of knives this size. I kind of like them a little bit bigger, but after carrying this for a long while, I purchased other knives that were in this style or this length blade, because it's a good compromise between being too big or too small, kind of like the Dragonfly Delica or the mini native. So this lockback design is strong enough. For me, this is a really good knife. I don't know that it would, if I would get the ZDP-189 steel again. I mean, it does hold a good edge, but I think the S30V would be just as good, or even the VG10 for what it is. But I did put it through its paces, and the only bad thing was that it did rust in Mexico. When I brought it back home to the States, I had to, like I said, take it all apart and clean it well. This knife, even when I brought it home when I opened it and I used it, none of the clip did not get loose. The pivot point was not loose. I mean, this knife stayed tight, which is a problem that I've been having lately with Spyderco's. Is from the factory, the clip always gets very loose, or the pivot gets loose, or the whole frame gets loose, and I've had to retighten them, and put Loctite in them, which was kind of aggravating because you pay a premium price for Spyderco's. But other than that, this knife here, I have a very high thoughts for it. I think that it is a really good buy. Imperfecto out.